Thank you for staying with us. The Margot Development Corporation today launched its 4th annual May Fest. The event, dubbed Dominica's largest village festival, is expected to take place from Friday, April 30 to Monday, May 3rd. President of the Margot Development Corporation is Michael Pascal.
There are a number of initiatives by the MDC that are ongoing. We have the secondary school scholarship program, in which we assist persons from the community to go to secondary school. At present, there are 4 students at the Northeast Comprehensive, including Dominica's Female Athlete of the Year, Chelsea Linton, who is part of our secondary school scholarship program. Another initiative in the community was the construction of Heroes Park. Heroes Park in Marigot, hopefully, construction is over, is located at the grounds of the Methodist Church. So if you're in that area, you will see a monument there. What it is, there is a monument we have constructed, which is dedicated to the memory of those living and those dead, for persons from the Marigot community who have contributed significantly to Marigot's development, Dominica's development, and the world. What we have there is a statement that small communities can produce big persons, large persons, persons who contribute significantly. The monument is complete, and we look forward to, before the middle of this year, inviting them to come to the village and be part of the unveiling of Heroes Park, a testament to our heroes, which for now and then will be the only Heroes Park in Dominica, and maybe other communities can pick up from that.
And that's President of the Margot Development Corporation, Michael Pascal. Meantime, Parliamentary Representative for the Margot constituency, Edison James, says the activities came as a result of a vision and a sense of purpose.
You will notice, as was alluded to by Mr. Pascal, the tenacity involved in this whole exercise. It is not a fly-by-night, flash-in-the-pan arrangement, but it came out of a vision and a sense of purpose, which are in fact driving those behind the effort to continue to achieve that and to realize that vision. At the head, of course, of the organization since that time has been Mikey Pascal, and we have others who have demonstrated that tenacity. It is an endeavor which has been embraced by the people of Marigot, and we continue to urge our people to engage and work with each other.
Parliamentary Representative for the Margot constituency, Edison James. On feature for the weekend will be the Monster Extreme May Challenge, the 93.1 May Fest Ecumenical Service, and the Digicel International Artist Night. Family life educator Valda Bruno says employment is still a factor affecting women in the world. Bruno was addressing a workshop to formally open the Caribbean Women Association 20th Biennial Conference currently underway in Dominica. She says the global financial crisis have placed a burden on women as they normally occupy the most vulnerable jobs.
In the Caribbean, women and girls will be particularly affected by job cuts, loss of livelihoods, increased responsibilities in all phases of life, and an increased risk of societal and domestic violence. To present the situation in a more graphic term, think about it this way. When women lose jobs, their families, and especially the children, become more vulnerable. They may lose their benefits, such as maternity leave and pensions, which will place them into the path of poverty and economic downturn. This creates a domino effect, considering that women in some cases care for the entire family. This in turn may force women to enter the sex industry, which may provide the only alternative to making money needed to care for their loved ones. The end result of this alternative livelihood is a risky lifestyle open to HIV and AIDS infection, domestic violence, unplanned and unwanted pregnancies. There is also the issue of school dropouts. History has proven that during crises such as this, the girls are normally the ones pulled out of school to help with the maintaining of the family. We have also seen mass migration of our women from the region in search of better opportunities. The children are left behind in some cases to fend for themselves. And sadly, sometimes the better opportunities never come for these women who migrate.
Meantime, Bruno says it is imperative that when governments develop plans to alleviate the situation, it is necessary to provide national stimulus packages and social protection measures for women and girls.
This approach will also benefit men and boys in that this promotes a stable society in which development thrives. Any deviation from this approach may result in some reversal of women's empowerment movement in the region. We need to demand that our leaders, as women, the right to be involved in addressing these issues. Like Ms. Babs spoke about earlier on, a women's department as opposed to a women's desk. And I add my little piece here to state that as women, it is important that we do not feel threatened by the potential of other women. Rather, that we encourage them and we embrace their abilities, as individuals, we all have our individual strength. And when we pull that strength together, we can be a force to reckon with. We stand to suffer most from this economic crisis that we're already experiencing. How many of our young girls have dropped out of school because some of us can no longer afford to pay for their education? How many of our young girls have become victims to men who control the financial resources? Do we want our region to become reliant on the sex trade? Or do we want our region to prosper because our governments had the foresight to invest in us and equip us with the necessary skills and resources to push sustainable development?
That's family life educator Valda Bruno. In other news this lunchtime, through its horticulture program, the Ministry of Agriculture will soon commence the distribution of input to local farmers to help in their rehabilitation and replanting efforts. Agriculture Minister Matthew Walter says the decision follows the recent drought condition, which has a negative effect on Dominica's agricultural output as well as livelihood and income.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry encourages farmers to undertake more integrated farming to ensure that input provided benefit as many crops as possible. This support of input will be provided to farmers involved in the production of non-banana crops as well as farmers involved in integrated farm systems. The banana industry remains a very critical part of the agricultural sector and a significant foreign exchange earner and employer. It has to remain as an integral part of the agricultural sector.
Agriculture Minister Matthew Walter. And Health Minister Julius Timothy says despite success in immunization on the island, there continues to be some communities here where several children have not completed their immunization schedules. Dominica is observing Immunization Week this week. He says these children are at risk of contracting vaccine-preventable diseases.
Dominica continues to report immunization coverage of the target population of 95% and over for all vaccines offered under the expanded program on immunization. Our children have received protection from common diseases affecting many of their counterparts in other parts of the world. Measles has been eliminated in the Americas, with the last case reported in 2002. Polio was also eradicated in the region in 1994, and the last case of endemic rubella was reported in 2009. We in Dominica have not seen a case of any of these diseases since the early 1980s. Diseases such as diphtheria and pertussis have also not been reported. The last reported case was in the early 80s. It is clear that the use of vaccines by the Ministry of Health is one of the major factors in disease prevention.